at some point in your life, you will be hit with a decision, and a very important one at that. Maybe even right now, you have a decision in your head that you haven't taken because you don't know which one's the right one. But let me tell you that there is no right decision, and there'll never be. You'll never be able to take the right decision. You'll also never take the wrong one, because the decision will never actually end up mattering. Now you might be like, okay, bro, you tripping? You just tell me lies right here. But I'm not actually. I'm genuinely not. This is a way that this is something I've understood recently that has changed my view about decisions completely. And, you know, the way I live my life, I guess, because we make thousands of decisions every day, you know, very small ones. Sometimes we don't even have to think about it much, but sometimes we're hit with this big decision that eats us up for days and weeks. Recently, I had my own decision to make. I mean, I had multiple, but, you know, recently I had a big decision to make, and I was genuinely scared that I would make the wrong decision. I was thinking, man, I was thinking it over, pros and cons. I was making a list. I was thinking all these, oh, my axe just broke. I was thinking of all these things. Oh, you know, what if I make the wrong decision? How am I going to end up? But when you understand the concept that there is no good or right decision, you'll be able to live a way calmer life. All these decisions will never take another stress from you again. And you'll always make the right decision. You see, when you take a decision, say here, I want to build my house with birchwood, or I want to build my house with oakwood. There's a super simple decision, right? It's probably a lot smaller than the one you're thinking of your head for yourself, but it's a decision nonetheless, right? So say I have this decision to make. I don't know if I want to build it with birchwood or I want to build it with oakwood. Say I like oakwood better. I like how it looks, but it's a little more basic. I have less possibilities. Maybe with birchwood, I like how it looks less, but it's softer. It has another vibe, but it has more possibilities. Which one should I choose? It's a hard decision. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to make the wrong one, etc, etc, etc. But if I make no decision, I'll end up in the cobblestone, which is the indecision. This is when you take no decision, when you leave it out for too long and the decisions disappear, or you just have no way of making the decision. Like, this is, you know, if you make no decision, you end up here. Cobblestone has no pros. It is literally all cons, apart from maybe that it can't burn, I guess. I don't know with this analogy. But the point is, we don't want to make the indecision. So we have to make a decision, and we're stressing about which one is the right one. But what if we look at it from a different angle and think, well, I'm just going to choose the one I like most. I like oakwood. Yes, it might limit my possibilities. Yes, it might, etc, etc. But I like it more. I'm just going to build with it. So I'm just going to start building my house with oakwood, which I don't have any of right now. I actually have to gather a bit more. Let me get an axe. Say I decide I do want to build with oakwood, but then later that decision might eat me up because I realize that I don't have the same opportunities with birch as I did with birch, because I could combine it with more blocks or something. You know, this is an example, but say we could apply it to a real life example. You want to, I don't know, quit your job, or you want to stay in there because of the security and whatever, and then here you want to just like go and pursue your passion for playing the banjo or something, right? I don't know. You want to just like, this is your passion, and this is your job with security and whatever. So whichever decision you take might seem like an insane decision. This one will change your life forever, and this one will as well. I mean, it'll stay the same for now, but it'll change completely. You'll diverge paths completely. So you might be like, okay, alright, what do you mean there's no right decision? But there is no right decision, because both decisions are right. Now, of course, one might weigh more towards yourself, and you might, you know, end up in the place you want to go to with one, and the other you might not, or the opposite. But whichever decision you end up taking, it's not about if it is the right one. It is more about if you make it the right one. Now, okay, this might not make sense for you. What do you mean you make it the right one? But it's after you take the decision, where the decision really shows if you made the right one, I guess. If you made it right. So if I go with birch and I go pursue my passion, it won't matter if I decide that I'm not going to take it seriously, and I'm just going to like chill a bit, and I'm not going to put that much effort in, and I'm not, you know, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone, and I don't want to get judged, so I'm not going to like put myself out there or anything because of all of this stuff. And like, you know what I'm saying? I took the decision to take the banjo, but I didn't do right with that decision, and it leads me nowhere. It'll lead you to having no security, having no anything, having nothing to root for. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to be a guy that plays the banjo with nothing going for it. And if you choose the job one, you might be like, okay, well, I have that security. But if you never end up doing anything, then you'll end up unfulfilled, because you know you wanted to play the banjo a bit. You end up completely unfulfilled, and you'll be like, well, I don't have anything rooting for me in my life. I just have security, but what am I going to do with it? Hopefully that makes sense. So, but both decisions there would have been wrong because you treated the decision wrong after you took them. But if you take the decision to go play the banjo full time, and you put all of your effort into it, and you put all of your soul into it, and you genuinely become the best banjo player ever existed in the world, and you put yourself out there and you reach out to people and you send emails or something. I don't know what people do in the music industry to like make it out, but like, you know, you do everything. You can become the best banjo player ever. You could become legendary, bro. And that, you know, you would have been, bro, this was the right decision, bro. If I stayed at that job, I would have been cooked. This was absolutely the right decision, you might think. But no, it wasn't the right decision. Both decisions could have been right and could have been wrong, because then you see it from the job perspective. You're like, okay, well, I took the job. Sure, I didn't take the decision to quit and go play banjo, but okay, well, I still have time in my afternoons and I still want to play banjo, and you still pursue your passion, and maybe you build a family and you have security, and you know, you can, I don't know, like go on vacations and stuff, and you still love playing the banjo, and you actually like build, you know, a side income from that, and now you just live a incredibly peaceful and great life. Yes, your life is completely different between both ways, but those both ways could be the right decision or the wrong one. The importance wasn't the decision itself, it was more what you did with that decision. Now, I don't want to say that decision making is completely useless and you should just, you know, put it on a wheel and say, okay, I'm just going to go change my life completely, change my entire life path. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that the decision itself you might be stressing about, think of the decision you're stressing about right now. It might be something that you perceive to be incredibly big, and maybe it is something incredibly big, but what I want to get at is that that incredibly big thing could not only genuinely be a lot less big than you think, but the decision you take, yes, might lead you to different places, but it's what you do with that decision that is what matters. I think another, you know, thing with decision making, this is a little going off the road with what I was saying, but if you do want to get better at decision making in general, what you should also do is just go with the vibe that fits you the most. Everything has a vibe, bro. Everything has a vibe. So whether it be the car you want to choose to buy, or to, you know, I don't know, or whether it be the job you want to choose, or whether it be the friend you want to choose, or the partner you want to choose, or the genuinely, I don't know, the dog. Yeah, the dog you want to choose. Like, you're in an adoption center and you're like, bro, which dog should I choose? And you're like stressing about it. You're like, okay, I would love to have a big dog because, like, you know, I freak with that vibe and stuff. It's like, it's cool, you know, I would love to have a big dog, but also have a little dog so I can, like, you know what I'm saying, it's like, oh, it's a little cute little dog, you know what I'm saying, the big dog wouldn't be that cute. So, you know what I'm saying, you're weighing the decisions. What you got to do is, like, if you have a decision to make, you just got to be like, yo, which vibe do I mess with the most? Because at the end of the day, as I said, the decision itself won't matter that much. But if you want to be more secure about which decision you take, you got to go with the one that you vibe with more. So if you're a more big dog guy, don't go choose the cute dog just because, you know, you think, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying, most people like cute dogs. You know, if I have people over in my house, you know, they'll mess with the cute dog more than the big dog, because, you know, the big dog, they'll think it bite and whatever. But it's like, but I like the big dog more. Get the big dog, you know what I'm saying? This is just like basic. Don't be getting the small dog because you think, you know what I'm saying, like, as much as a small dog might have benefits, you have to just go with the vibe and then do the best with it. If you're gonna have a big dog, bro, take it on walks, and, like, I don't know what you do if you have a big dog, but do the things you would like to do with your big dog, right? If you have a small dog, then don't just leave it neglected. I'm going to die, bro. Oh my days. No. Okay, if you have a small dog, then you gotta, like, pet it and stuff, and, like, have it on your lap when you're working or something, because if not, it's not gonna be worth it. This is not gonna be worth it. Real talk, you're gonna live life a lot lighter if you just decide to take the decisions you want to take and not overthink it too much, because overthinking doesn't get you a better decision. You have to decide, okay, in the next, I don't know, whatever it may be, 10 minutes, or even, bro, in the next, like, half an hour, or even just today I will make that decision. By the end of the day, I will have a decision, and if I don't, I will literally flip a coin. Like, you gotta say it like that, straight up, bro. Because if you can't, bro, think about it, if you genuinely cannot make a decision, whether it be one thing or another, then it's probably equal weight. The decision is probably, like, if you choose one thing or the other, if you genuinely can't make the decision, because it's so like, you know, everything is just equal weight and like everything looks the same, then at the end of the day it's probably the same. Then don't even stress about it, right? Because I mean, if you're stressing about it, so that's the hardest decisions are obviously the ones that are, you know, the closest in weight, like the closest, you know, oh, this one has this many benefits and the other one has the same amount of benefits. Those are ones that are closest in weight. But if they both have the same amount of benefits, maybe you don't even have to stress about it. Does that make sense? Maybe you just have to go with your gut and choose one, and you'll still get the same number of benefits, even if they're different. But you just got to do the best with what you got. When you decide to play life, you know, thinking about it from your own perspective and just trusting yourself more to make the right decisions, and trusting that you will make the right decisions, even if you might think, you know, maybe I don't, maybe I do. Just trusting that you will live life a lot lighter, and you will live life just a lot simpler, knowing that anything you do will be okay. Any decision you take will be okay. Because think of every decision you've taken in your life. Has it really turned out that bad? You're still here, you're still watching this video, so every decision is still like, you know, I'm not saying it's completely reversible, I'm just saying it's not, you know, most decisions aren't gonna ruin or do anything in your life. A chain of bad decisions could, of course, but I mean, that's really up to you. If you're really making a chain of bad decisions, then at that point, you know, I think you got to reevaluate. But the point is, like, decision making is like one of the biggest stressors in life. And if you want to live a life that's less stressful, you got to just let go of the results of decisions and put more focus into making the decision that you do make the right one. That's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm trying to get better at communicating. That's why I made this channel. Might have been a little all over the place. That's exactly why I'm making this channel. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. At least hopefully y'all got something out of it. I'm getting something out of this. Like, decision making has been like a thing that stressed me out personally a decent amount, and I feel like recently I've learned to deal with it a lot better. So that's why I wanted to make this video as well. Hopefully it can help y'all a bit. One final thing I wanted to add, say as an example, you are thinking about like going out with your friends or staying to work a bit more on your project. This might seem like a difficult decision because you know maybe you should, quote unquote, stay and work on your project, or from another perspective, maybe you should go out with your friends because you want to hang out with them more. Now, this could seem like a difficult decision, but what you should do is just decide, okay, which one does my gut want to do more? Maybe I want to work more, I really feel excited about this, just stay. Maybe I want to go out with my friends, which, I mean, that's probably the example you would have, then you go out with your friends. But when you look at it from a perspective of making the decision right, now when you go out with your friends, you're not going to go out there passively. You're going to be your best you, and you're going to be in a good mood, and you're going to bring everyone up and be there to have great conversations and all of that. And if you're gonna stay to work, then you're gonna use that time wisely. No way you're gonna stay home and then like not work and scroll reels and like watch YouTube or whatever. I mean, you're sacrificing going out with your friends for this, so you have to work. So it's just about making the decision right. Staying for working could be right because you're using that time very wisely, or going out with your friends could be right because you're also using that time wisely, just in a completely different way.